This is why I feel like the cost of living has never been as bad as it is right now. Because it used to be when the cost of living was high, it was for the things that you need in life. Food, gas, shelter, etc. All those things cost a lot of money. Right now, all of those things still cost a lot of money. And also, I feel like it's just expensive to just be alive. Like, I feel like my life as soon as I wake up is literally just me putting down a credit card. And it's just a tab. And life is a bartender. And it's just like, what are you going to have? And I'm just like, I'm okay. I don't really need anything today. And it's just like, oh, really? Well, if you're going to be here, you're going to need to spend money. And I'm just like, what do you mean here? I'm just in the world. And it's just like, yeah, you have to buy something now. It's even getting to the point where, like, I feel like even my thoughts are getting expensive, you know? Like I could just have the thought of like, my nose is a little stuffy. And then all of a sudden, I open up my phone 10 minutes later and have 12 ads for like, oh, you have a pollen allergy and you got to buy these anti-pollen allergy pills or you're going to suffocate in your sleep. Sleep is the only place I still feel kind of safe. But even there, it's like I could have sleep problems for one night and then I wake up feeling kind of groggy and all of a sudden I'm getting targeted ads for melatonin gummies. It's like all of our necessities are still expensive, and then also just every increment of our life costs something.
Hey, U.S. government here. So here's the situation. So our population is dipping below the replacement level, and as the U.S. government, we can't have that. So your responsibility now is to have children for us. Okay, yeah, no, not a problem. So I just have a couple questions. For one, are you going to help with the housing market crisis that's going on right now? Because a lot of my generation cannot afford a $400,000 house. No. Okay, how about putting a cap on rent? Because $1,500 for rent is severely out of budget. No. Okay, what about helping with medical bills? Because, going to all those prenatal appointments and then actually giving birth and then the baby's appointments, like, medical bills are just so expensive and so hard to keep up with. So can you guys help out with that? No. Alright. Could you guys remove the abortion law? Because what if there's that slim chance I get pregnant and it becomes ectopic and then they won't do a life-saving procedure on me because the baby has a life? No, we're not removing that. Alright, what about the cost of formula? Because I know there are a lot of mothers out there who just can't breastfeed, and then having to buy a container to 2 containers a week of formula is it's super expensive. Yeah, we can't help with that, sorry. Alright. What about gas prices? Like, I know in a lot of states, like my state, gas is $4 a gallon. So, like, driving around all these doctor's appointments and going to work, like, can we help with that? No. Oh. Since you guys aren't willing to lower the cost of the things I've listed, are you able to help raise my wages so I can afford these items? No. Alright, so let me get this straight. You won't help with housing, you won't put a cap on rent, you refuse to help with medical bills, you won't remove the abortion law that actually makes it super unsafe to have a child, you won't help lower the cost of groceries or gas or formula. So what are you guys actually gonna do to help us have kids? Nothing? You just need to stop being lazy, get your ass into work, and get it together and have a kid so we can fix this population problem. How's that sound? No.
And I thought it was the UK that was on its arse. Seems like these Americans are really fucking struggling with the cost of living crisis. Check this video out. Tell me it don't break your heart. How can someone earning $80,000 a year be struggling to live? This is fucked.
And we are literally the brokest we've ever been. Brokest we've ever been.
But I'm making the most money I ever had my entire life. My husband and I, between the two of us, gross, make like over $80,000 a year. And if you told me a few years ago that $80,000 a year was not going to be enough for a family of 4.
I make more than what I made back in 2015. But I am still literally living paycheck to paycheck.
I have to work 60 hours a week and make $80,000 a year to make ends meet. That's insane. I can't even begin to wrap my head around it.
Financially, I don't understand anymore. I don't understand how I make $34 an hour and I can't function. I can't function. I can't pay my bills.
How are people affording life right now? How are people tackling this cost of living?
I really have no fucking clue how people afford this day and age with normal average jobs. And it's like, I was a server for almost 8 years and I never once made more than like 40 grand. And that was me making decent money. I was making $20 to $30 an hour. But it doesn't matter because the average cost to live in America is like $3 grand a month or something. And that times 12 is like almost 40 grand, you know? Maybe that was enough money to live off of 4 or 5, more like 20 fucking years ago. It's unfortunate, but it's just not enough money anymore. And it's like the video that I stitched. She was talking about how someone she knew was a teacher and how she didn't make enough money. My best friend is a teacher. She is so passionate. She is so knowledgeable about what she does, but she will never make the amount of money that she deserves, you know? She still lives with her fucking mom, and I don't blame her. I still live with my parents, even though I'm making really good money, because I know that the second that I move out, I'm going to be throwing away quadruple the amount of money that I already am, because shit is just so damn expensive. Like I said, I don't have a quote-unquote normal job anymore. I work online. I do affiliate and digital marketing, and everything that I do to make money is at the top on my page. If you want help doing what I'm doing, please reach out. I would love to help you. But yeah, it genuinely hurts me to sit here and think that people who are such hard workers, who have so much knowledge, are just not getting paid what they deserve, especially my best fucking friend.
I'm not trying to come across ungrateful or unhappy or cynical or anything like that, but I have a question. What in the hell has happened to cost of living increases? Like, for real. Everything is going up. Everything around us. It's just no matter what, between eggs, gasoline, all these things. And we get a cost of living that's 1%. What are we supposed to do with that? Like, what am I going to do with 1%? Our insurance alone is going up 10% this year. And we're getting 1%? Now, doing the math, that's losing money. That's year after year. I'm not getting any more. I'm losing money. They're taking it away from me. I come from the time back in the early 2000s where a raise was a raise. You get 6, 7, 8, up to 10%, and it was normal. And then in 2007 or 2008, somewhere around there was a period where we got nothing for 3 years. And now we're getting 1%, and we're supposed to cheer about it. I don't get that. What am I cheering for? Am I cheering for, hey, I lost money, the longer I work for you, the more money I lose? How does this keep happening?
Can we all finally collectively agree that we do jobs for money? It just seems really weird that companies and interviewees are always dancing around this subject. Like, we're here for the money. That's it. Not for the culture, not for Pizza Fridays. We are here to get a paycheck and pay our bills.
So I currently live in a duplex that has 1 bathroom, 2 bedrooms, a mold smell, scratched up baseboards. Like, it is not pretty. And I've lived here for 3 years. And when I first moved in, it was $550. That was kind of reasonable. Then they upped it to $625. Okay, fine. Now my new landlords are saying they're going to charge me $725 a month for this piece of shit place. Here's what I don't understand. If landlords are upping the rent, why aren't they raising the quality of the housing that they're providing? And how the fuck do you expect anybody in this economy, in a town where a $20 an hour job is like amazing, like, and rare, you're going to make the rent $4,000 to $3,000 a month? Even $2,000 to $1,000 is absolutely ridiculous. You do realize that minimum wage is still $7.25. Nobody is going to be able to afford to live anywhere. And my friend just got kicked out. Where's she going to go? And here we sit, doing jack fucking shit about it. Good job, America. Good fucking job. Are we going to get off our asses and do anything about this, or are we just going to continue to sit here? There needs to be fucking regulations in this shit. There needs to be caps on the rental prices. You cannot charge out the ass for a house if it's not worth that quality of money. You would not pay $30,000 for a 1997 Buick. Hello. Wake the fuck up. I'm so fucking fed up with this country, dude. We need to get up and do what Paris is doing. Seriously, we are lazy motherfuckers. Keep sitting around doing nothing. And our rights are being ripped away from us. And our living is like we have no quality of life. Eventually, we will have no quality of life whatsoever. Not even for the middle class. It'll just be the rich people enjoying life. Is that what you want? Because that's where we're headed. On top of that, putting fucking rules on what people fucking dress like gonna arrest people for dressing like a different gender. Are you fucking serious? Does anybody care about this? Are we gonna do anything? Or are we just gonna sit here?
The cost of living crisis in America is real, and I completely understand why so many people feel inclined to create video content on a platform like TikTok, expressing their disdain for it. Everyone is hurting. Even if you're a high income earner, you're not alone. And it really is no wonder, just given how prices have gone up on just about everything from food to gas in this country. The average cost of a home is $420,000. Most people don't have the ability to afford that, especially with crippling debt, like in the form of student loans, and a myriad of different bills that people just can't seem to get out from underneath of. So it begs the question, what do we do? Where do we go from here? We can't even buy cheap food at McDonald's for $1 anymore. They completely nixed the dollar menu. And what dystopian future are we living in which we have to pay more than $1 for fake food at McDonald's that doesn't even taste any good? So it begs the question, what do we do? And I just can't help but feel like there really is no easy solution. Unfortunately, there are external factors constricting the economy that are out of our control. But what we can do, what we should feel inclined to do, is come together now more than ever before. Reason being is because if we're going to survive, if we're going to ensure our quality of life, we need each other now more than ever. We need some sense of solidarity, and that's something that's been lacking in this country for what seems like the longest time, just given the stark racial, cultural, and socioeconomic divides. And that could be attributed as a result of us having existed in this system that seeks to pit us against each other as competitors, as opposed to being counterparts. We don't even see each other as fellow countrymen and women anymore. And I think it's a real shame, because nowadays you're going to need people and they're going to need you. So it's up to us. Either we stand united or fall divided.
I'm sorry, we need how much to live comfortably in the United States? The median family income in the United States is a little under $70,000. $70,000. No state in the United States enables a family to live comfortably with $70,000 in income. So yeah, something monumental needs to be done to correct this. Because as wages continue to stay stagnant and inflation to keep going up, we're all going to be priced out. It's not a question of working harder, it's not a question of working overtime. This is now a question of structural, systematic change. This map shows that the cheapest place to live for a family is in Mississippi. $178,000. And billionaires and corporations think that they have it rough?
I can't go to the grocery store without spending less than $250 usually.
The economy here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin is strong. Unemployment is low. If you want a job, you can get one. But a lot of people don't feel like they're doing very well because of the cost of living. Do you think life would have been less expensive under Donald Trump?
I do. We were living much richer lives when he was in office.
Donald Trump's message that he repeats ad nauseum, do you feel better off than you did 4 years ago, really resonates. And it explains in part why the race is still so tight.
Policies of the current administration have put a huge strain on the economy, not just in the housing market, but in multiple markets.
The drivers of inflation include the money that was pumped into the economy after COVID, the war in Ukraine. They're kind of global issues. How can you blame one side or the other for what's happened here in America?
Well, maybe a global issue, but here locally, at least in the United States, as a nation, both sides handle the economy in much different ways. And I think that Donald Trump and the Trump administration had a much better handle on appropriately spending money in the economy than the left does.
But cost of living isn't everything, and for a lot of voters, this poll is an existential crisis. After Tuesday, either the sky falls or it's salvation. As a foreign observer, I can't understand why it's so close. Can you?
No, I just can't believe it. I'm praying that the women go in and vote for Kamala, even though their husbands think they're voting for someone else. I could be wrong, but that's my hope.
30, 40 years ago when I was like, 20 years old, people had difference in politics and we disagreed, but we still were all friends and got along, and we didn't believe one side was trying to destroy the other. And I would like the country to get back to that. Whether it happens, I don't know.
A new Bank of America report published on Wednesday reveals that 46% of Gen Z adults in the United States rely on financial assistance from their parents and families. Half of the survey respondents said that they were not on track to buy a home in the next 5 years. But there is good news. 76% of Gen Zers are not afraid to set boundaries and make lifestyle changes to offset growing living costs. This includes things like budgeting, cutting back on eating out, staying home instead of attending events, and shopping at cheaper grocery stores.
Hey everybody, my name is Tyler, and because of the out-of-control inflation that we're having in our country right now and rent prices being over $1,500 a month, I have been outpriced at the rental market, and I live here in my car full-time, and I wanted to give you a brief tour. So starting with the bed here, it is a 3-inch memory foam mattress topper. Super comfortable. I have about 4 layers of blankets, which keeps me warm, especially right now we've got 20-degree weather at night, so it's pretty cold. Moving over here, I have my cooler. I've had a few people tell me I'm not supposed to have this cooler because I live in my car, but it actually was a birthday gift last year for my 30th birthday, and I just can't part with it. I absolutely love it. Keeps all my food cold and fresh for days. I absolutely just adore this cooler, so I'm not gonna get rid of it. And in the back there, you can see I have 2 really comfortable pillows. I'm about 5.
About 1 in 3 Americans between 18 and 34 years old live with their parents.
And while you may have heard more about this recently, this trend isn't new.
Between 2005 and 2015, the share just grew very steeply over this 10-year period. Since then, it's been fairly stable. There was an uptick, of course, during the pandemic. In the wake of the pandemic, those rates of parental co-residence are now about where they were right before. Part of the reason we see this escalation of young adults not leaving the nest or returning to the nest is this idea that it was harder and harder for them to weather shocks.
Nearly 30% of Gen Z said they would like to save but don't make enough money. And roughly 2 in 5 millennials and Gen Z adults feel it's harder to build financial wealth now than when their parents were their age because of the economy. 27-year-old Victoria Franklin has been living with her mother in New Jersey since she graduated college in 2019.
I saw all of the money that I was saving, and I thought, maybe I should stay home for a little bit, and I didn't feel an urgency to move out.
Not everyone is enthusiastic about this trend.
You guys are making 6 figures together. You can't tell me you can't afford a house. They just don't want to spend their money.
Oh, yeah. 36% of Americans said in a 2022 survey that more young adults living with their parents is bad for society. So here's why young Americans are choosing to live with their parents and what the implications are for the U.S. economy.
My name is Victoria Franklin. I am 27 years old, and I live in my childhood home with my mother and my boyfriend.
Victoria graduated from the University of Miami in 2019 and moved in with her mom when she was looking for a job.
After I saw the cost of living and things like that after I graduated, that maybe I'd be home for about a year.
More than half of Gen Z adults say they don't make enough money to live the life they want due to high cost of living.
I ended up bartending and waitressing until October, where I got my first offer, so it did take a little bit longer than I expected. Currently live at the Jersey Shore, and I was commuting into New York City, which takes about 2 hours each way. And I thought, in 6 months or so, I'll move into the city, be closer to the job, and the pandemic threw a wrench in those plans.
Victoria now works a fully remote job, which she says she probably wouldn't have if it weren't for the pandemic. Without a commute to worry about, she was able to stay at her mom's for longer.
It's a lot harder for young people today to save up for, markers of the American dream than it was for previous generations. Part of the reason we see this escalation of young adults not leaving the nest or returning to the nest is this idea that it was harder and harder for them to weather shocks. And so, for example, if they suffered a layoff or they suffer some sort of health shock or they got in a car accident, if they didn't have any additional credit to weather that shock, they would end up moving back home. The financial stability of young adults, their ability to pay for things if they got into an emergency, was one of the big factors influencing whether or not they were living on their own or living with their parents.
A significant number of Gen Z adults and millennials lack emergency savings. In fact, 46% of millennials and 32% of Gen Z have more credit card debt than emergency savings.
This can have ramifications for setting up a financial future.
Roughly 1 in 4 Gen Z adults say housing costs are one of the biggest challenges to financial success.
The prices of homes has escalated over the last few decades much faster than actual incomes. So it is actually much harder for a millennial or a Gen Z to save up for a down payment to buy a home. And that's something that bears out in the data.
The pandemic did have a lot to do with it. I saw how much I was saving and I was like, maybe I shouldn't be paying, upwards of $3,000 a month and making somebody else richer when I could stay at home, save that money, and spend it on where I want to spend it. Between my job and my bartending and waitressing, I make anywhere from $85,000 to $95,000 a year. I would say about 40 to 50% of my salary is going right into savings. My mentality is, why rent and give my money to someone else when I can start to own? And so a big chunk of that money is going to go towards a down payment on a house.
Young adults ages 25 to 34 in high cost of living areas are more likely to live with their parents. Nearly 26% of young adults in New Jersey were living with at least one of their parents in 2022. The median household income in Oceanport, New Jersey, where the Franklins live, was nearly $133,000 in 2022, while the median value of a home in the region was around $644,000.
My dad built this house for $350,000 and was making probably $10,000 to $15,000 less than I was. My mom wasn't working at the time, and they were able to afford a $350,000 house on a $70,000 a year salary with a son. And that's not even the American dream anymore. That's not even possible. My aunt, who I fight with all the time, is always saying how you have to give somewhere, right? And my cousin said something to her the other day and said, we're giving everywhere. We don't get property. We don't get good school systems. Whatever we're trading off is too much to trade off.
Good morning, everyone. I'm just going to tell you guys, America is not what it used to be. It really isn't. And a lot of the Bidens, the people who came here on that Biden program, they have gotten a big surprise. You understand? See, when they're in Haiti, they kind of, I don't know how to say it, but they think Jasper is something special. They think being Haitian American is something special because we come with that US dollar, and you can exchange like just $100 and your wallet will be like stacked, because the rate of exchange, and it looks like you're just balling, or you're just, I don't know what you want to call it, but it just looks like something to them. So when they come to the US, they're in surprise when the money you make, all of it have to go to bills, or the majority. You understand? They're going to wish they was back in Haiti, a lot of them, who don't have the proper support, who don't have the proper family support. They're going to wish they was back in Haiti. Hear me well. My youngest child is graduating this year. And I've said to you guys over the last 2 or 3 years, it's coming a time when you want to see me, you're going to have to come into Haiti. And the only reason that you've seen me in the U.S. this much is because I just went back to OCAP last year. And even still, there's been so much things going on politically that have locked the country, that have stopped flights, that have just, you understand? So in Haiti, you got to be prepared. You better stay prepared. which I am. I got my solar. I get the water from the Lacoot. I don't drink it. I got Culligan water stacked up. You understand? But your biggest expense in Haiti is probably food and water. It is definitely not your housing like it is in the U.S. Something so basic as housing should not be 90% of your income. That should be a given. That should not be. You got people living in the woods. There was one guy came up on my For You page, he living in the woods. And I'm like, baby, no. You ain't supposed to be living in the elements with cougars and them big cats that walk at night out in the woods and stuff, and snakes and stuff. We're not cavemen. We're not cave people. We're not supposed to be living in the elements like this. You're not supposed to be living in cars. You're not supposed to be living in what are those people just living any kind of way. Some people are living in hotels. And then somebody, when I first moved to OCAP, had put a comment on one of my videos. Back then I didn't know how to press on it and reply to it. Now I do. But they put a comment on one of my videos and said that where did I get a sofa from in my house? I'm like, just because it's Haiti, I'm not supposed to. Baby, we all got furniture, okay? What are you talking about? The majority of average people in Haiti, yes. Average people, we all have furniture. I have been in people's homes in the U.S., in their apartments, and they had no furniture, nothing but an air mattress, a blow-up air mattress. So how can somebody be surprised that I have furniture in Haiti? See, the media just wants to show the poverty side of Haiti. And that's cool, leave Haiti for me. But me, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I definitely don't capitalize off of people's misery. That's not me. When I show you guys something, it's because I am truly, truly shocked. I was truly, truly shocked how the people were living in Hugo Chavez Park, and that was just the start of it. It got worse and worse and worse. And now I hear that the protective status for people who came from Haiti on T. Biden is no more. So those people, if you're from the West Department, I suggest you find a way to change your status. You're in the U.S. You understand? Because you couldn't pay me $1 million to live in that West Department right now. You could not pay me $1 million to be kidnapped, to be held ransom, or maybe not even make it out alive. You couldn't pay me $1 million. It wouldn't be worth it, because I'd have to pay it for ransom. I'd have to pay it for protection. I could be, unalived for it. You couldn't pay me to go to that department and live. So I feel bad for anybody who is sent back to that department. You need to change your status. You need political asylum or something, okay? Because it ain't no joke. It is truly the wild, wild west in that West Department, where Port-au-Prince is, where Cabaret is, where all these areas that I know, it is truly the wild, wild west. But I'm going to tell you, some people have asked me to scout out land for them, because 2025 is the year. It's the year where you are going to see me in Haiti, and you won't see me in the U.S. unless I'm just here for a visit. 2025 is that year. It has come. It has come. It has come. It has come. My children, my boys are well established early. My boys are in their early 20s. I don't know what old frog-faced liverneck is talking about, because I don't have a 34-year-old son. My boys are in their early 20s, buying real estate at the age of 21. You understand? A couple years ago. They're in their early 20s. Well established, more than 40 and 50-year-old men. They're well established. And if they can make it in this matrix, okay. My daughter, a professional, well established. Make it in the matrix, honey, if you can. But me, it's time that I leave this matrix. It is not for me. It is not for me. I have raised my children, and it is time for me to go sit on somebody's beach with the chickens and the goats running around the beach, watching the fishermen pull the fish in, going to my spiritual places. And I will receive people in Haiti who come with honor and respect. You understand? And I still will work long distance for people and do readings for people. But this matrix, no way. What I see, it doesn't, it's not me. I can't see it no more. But yet the US wants to just, people, YouTubers and everyone want to go into Haiti and film all that. You got enough to film right here in the US, what people are going through. And you got 4 more years of it. So I think I might just disappear for 4 years, honey. Seriously, you got 4 more years of this, and it's just starting. It's just starting. My boys are well established. They have a beautiful place, and they work together, pay their bills together. We stay together like a family. Somebody got it. Ain't nobody got needs, because you know somebody got it. We're going to put it together. We're going to get it. That's how we are. I'm on board with that.